6 months ago, we began a project called Worship in Action, designed to take our worship outside the four walls of the church and out to a world in need. We began with a focus on Honduras. Then we went halfway around the world to Myanmar.
Now we turn our attention to reaching our own city. Based on recent estimates, if we were to reach the lost in our city by establishing one church a day with 150 members each, we would need almost 25,000 churches to reach the lost in all of Houston. And this challenge requires an international focus as well. 1 out of every 5 people living in Houston was born outside of the United States. And as of 2007, the largest population group in our city is comprised of people from Hispanic descent.
Last year, Tallowood and the BGCT helped to establish a new Spanish-speaking church on the east side of Houston. The story of Iglesia Bautista Fe y Paz is one of great faith in the midst of great trials. Only a few years ago, the original church had dwindled to just one member, a woman who paid the mortgage on their empty building for 2 years until it was paid off in November. After 2 years of hoping that God would renew this church, her faith was rewarded when Jose Flores, an Argentinian, agreed to become the pastor and begin the process of rebuilding the congregation.
Pastor Flores took his own leap of faith when he moved his wife and 3 young children from Argentina to the United States to fulfill this call. 2 churches had promised to support Jose and his family, but when they arrived in Houston, these churches were unable to fulfill their financial commitments, leaving Jose with no place to live and no source of income. Despite these hardships, Pastor Flores went about the task of starting this church by going door to door, learning the needs of his neighborhood, and inviting them to worship.
After just a few months, 30 people were meeting regularly in the building that had been empty for so long. And in November, Tallowood and the BGCT began to sponsor Jose and the church plant so that they could continue the process of reaching their neighborhood for Christ.
You don't have to go far from the church to see the need for Christ in the neighborhood. Just outside the doors at Avenue K and 74th, local drug dealers set up shop. At that corner lives Cristobal, who struggles with a drug addiction and who recently lost his brother. Across the street lives a local psychic medium, and behind them, drug use is rampant at a house where a local heavy metal band draws angry youth each weekend.
Pastor Flores deeply desires to reach this neighborhood for Christ. He initiated a relationship with the heavy metal band by lending them music equipment, and now the youth of the neighborhood gather to listen to the church youth band as well. Members of Cristobal's family have begun to attend church also. The light of Christ is slowly pushing back the darkness.
We want to partner with Jose Flores and Iglesia Bautista Fe y Paz in reaching this neighborhood for Christ. In March, we'll be taking a mission trip to assist with work projects around the church and hold a sports camp for children and youth in the area. This could be a great outreach opportunity for this young church. Over the next 2 months, we want to focus on 3 areas of need that will coordinate with this trip.
One of the ways we show the love of Christ to the world is by the way we love each other within the body of Christ. We want to show our love to our brothers and sisters at Iglesia Bautista Fe y Paz by focusing on some construction needs around the church. This includes building a baptistry for them inside their worship area. Currently, they're using a metal trough located outside in the parking lot. Over the next 2 months, help us by providing the money that's needed to complete this construction work.
Another element of this mission trip will be a sports camp that will reach out to the children and youth of the neighborhood. Children attending this camp may encounter the gospel for the first time and will have an opportunity to establish ongoing relationship with the church. In an effort to attract as many youth as possible, we want to provide a basketball, soccer ball, or football for each child that participates. Over the next 2 months, we hope to provide a total of 75 basketball, soccer ball, or footballs to the children in the neighborhood.
In this poor area, many people do not even have enough money to properly feed their families. And even some of the members of Pastor Jose's congregation do not have basic food supplies. To help Pastor Flores, we want to bring non-perishable food items to be distributed during our mission trip in March. You can find a suggested list of items at the Reaction Center or on our blog at worshipinaction.net.
As we turn our attention to the lost of our city, you will have an opportunity not only to give, but also to participate. Our mission trip to Iglesia Bautista Fe y Paz will take place during the first half of spring break, March 15th through 19th. Please consider being a part of this kingdom building opportunity.
You can find out more about the trip and bring all your donations to the Reaction Center each weekend. In addition, further information, updates, and opportunities to serve can be found at worshipinaction.net. Help us reach the lost with the love of Christ right here in Houston, only 20 miles from our own church. This is Worship in Action.